sans frontières boole sunu am te liggéey.
Welcome to our program. I'm your presenter Ayub Umzei. Today we're in the heart of the British Parliament, or the British democracy. British democracy is an epitome of the world's democracy. On my left-hand side, we have got the House of Commons, where we have got the elected members of Parliament. On my right-hand side, we have got the House of Lords, who are known as the peers. Why are we here today? We're here today because speakers of Parliament from the Commonwealth, they're here today, 53 members who represent the Houses of Parliament, trying to deliberate on issues that affect them as speakers and as members of Parliament as well. We've got speakers from countries like Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria, Ghana, the United Kingdom, Barbados, Jamaica, you name them all, as long as they're members of the Commonwealth. As you know, we just finished CHOGM, that is the Heads of Governments meeting in Kampala. And the theme there was about upholding the democratic rights of people. And what we are seeing here today is how are we going to sustain parliamentary supremacy. And this is what happened.
Africa.
The issues that have been discussed they range from the fact that what is the role of the media in the 21st century with Parliament, which is embedded in tradition. There have been issues about the right of reply. For example, if you are a member of public and you have been hurt by what has been said in the House, how do you respond? What is the procedure for that kind of thing? I think what is being discussed in this House today is what is going to move on the Parliament in the Commonwealth to the next level. We did speak to some of the leaders of Parliament or the speakers of Parliament. And some of them, this is what they had to say. Could you please introduce yourself, what name and which country you represent?
Yeah, my name is Samuel Sitta. I'm Member of Parliament of Tanzania and Speaker of the House of Parliament in Tanzania.
It is very important for you to tell us where Tanzania is found and what is the history behind the Tanzanian Parliament.
Okay, Tanzania is one of the countries that were under the protectorate of the British from the First World War. It attained independence in 1992. We adopted multi-party politics as a form of governance. And since then, we have had 3 successful elections. And basically, the ruling party is the same as that obtained during independence, with a change of name. It's now called CCM, but it used to be called TANU when Mwalimu Nyerere founded the party. With the merger of ASP in Zanzibar, it became CCM in 1977. Now, we have an unicameral parliament, that is one house, not an upper house or lower house, just one house, 232 constituencies, roughly 70 special seats reserved for women, so that we uplift women. We realize in our culture it's not easy for a woman to win in a rural constituency in particular. But we feel that if we left it to pure electoral result, we would have poorer representation of women in our society. So this is like affirmative action to ensure that we have more women in Parliament. So we have 70 elected by proportional representation from each party. And so this brings our House to something like 320 members.
Now, there's an issue that I thought is very, very important. You, as the Speaker, how do you draw the line? For example, the House has got its standing orders, and some of the members, they enjoy some kind of immunity when they are debating in the House. But at the same time, there's what we call an inappropriate behavior. How do you draw a line to say this is totally inappropriate for the House and probably suspend a speaker. What criteria do you use as a speaker?
Well, the Constitution, on one hand, guarantees every member of Parliament freedom of speech within the House. A member of Parliament cannot be taken to court, nor could he or she be arrested for what they stated in Parliament when contributing to debate, etc. This privilege is necessary in order to have the MPs not be, sort of looking at the back and seeing who is listening and weighing every word, because they are representing the people. They should have the freedom to say that they suspect Mr. X is a thief or is stealing from the public funds without fear of being taken to court for saying so. They don't need to have proof beyond reasonable doubt to say that politician X is a rascal. They can say that. But concomitant with this, there is a responsibility not to be totally unreasonable. And this is where the House Ethics Committee comes in. There is behavior that is fair comment, but some may be well beyond the reasonable expectations of society. And luckily, for the majority of members, they absorb this, they observe this. But you have one or two MPs who, some of them may even have an axe to grind. They don't like someone and they want to turn the whole House to be a theater for abuse and all that. Now, Parliament has rules to be able to call the member in question. A, they could be asked to substantiate what they are saying, and failure to do so would involve certain penalties. They are not penalties in the sense of being taken to prison, for example, but, a member, for example, may be requested not to attend 2-3 sessions, and because of the publicity attendant to it, this is sufficient punishment for a member. For the others to vote that you should not be in the House for a few days, etc., it gives a signal to society that you must have done something quite wrong. So this is how it operates.
Now that brings in the issue of the right to reply, which has been also an issue that you have been discussing in the House here today, in the House of Lords. What is your position as the Speaker of the Tanzanian Parliament? What do you think about the right to reply?
I think, to be fair, in any balanced discussion, a right to reply should be something that is given as a matter of right. Because in the sense that those members that are in the House can exercise that right. We have had situations where we have begun to think that even ordinary members of the public should be able to petition the Speaker so that their side of the story can be told through mechanisms of announcements, etc., in the House. And I'm saying this because, look, there is freedom to do business, to engage in business, etc. Now, you have an MP who is doing similar business like someone who is not an MP and they are out. Now, if the MPs have an exclusive right to tell off whoever they see fit, and then you tie the other parts of society not to be able even to have their viewpoint heard by the rest of the public, this is not fair. This is why in the case of Tanzania, in our new rules, which have just been adopted in November last year, we have provided an avenue for the common citizen, if aggrieved by whatever a particular member of Parliament has said in the House, can petition the Speaker so that they can bring something in writing explaining their own version of what has been transpiring. And this is given to every member of Parliament to see for themselves.
Yeah, Honorable, so on the last note is that I've just returned from Tanzania, and quite recently in this country I met the leader of the opposition, that is Sheikh Sharif, and I've been to Tanzania as well. And through my research, I did notice that young people, they really don't have a clue of what is happening in Parliament, and there is kind of a growing voters' apathy, especially from other parts of the country. I could say people from the coast. You, as the Parliament, what steps are you taking to make sure that you educate the ordinary Tanzanians to let them know that voting and getting to know what is happening in Parliament is part of their constitutional right?
Well, one thing is clear, and that is once we air the proceedings of Parliament freely, through various TV channels, etc., it helps excite the interest of the people. And this has been done now. So the effect, it's too early to gauge yet, but most of our debate is open and is aired by some channels like Star TV, parts of ITV, TVT on some occasions, etc. But you are right. We need to do more than that. We need to have actual programs paid for by the public to educate the general public on how we operate. Sometimes it gets so technical and people don't quite understand why this is the case. But this is like the rules in a court of law. Sometimes you can't quite follow what is going on because it gets a little bit technical. I think we have to get the barrier over. We have to inform the public that these complicated rules are there in order to do justice. You see, you can't have a free-for-all. I mean, the easiest way to sort of have discussion is just have a free-for-all, but you can't have it in Parliament. You must give particular MPs equal time. You must be able to stop them when they are contravening certain rules about privilege. So it's quite complicated, and unless this is explained to the public properly, they really don't find it very exciting to watch. But we have put in the budget for this year quite a bit of money in terms of public education, having MPs go there and talk in panels, be asked questions about what is happening, what is going on, producing simple brochures in simple language so that the common person can understand what is going on. All this is something new, and I think we'll work to reduce apathy in terms of following up what Parliament is doing.